40 is the financial point of no return. Not because you can't fix things after 40, but because the mistakes most people make before 40 compound just like interest does, silently, invisibly, until they can't be undone. The average American reaches retirement with less than $100,000 saved, not because they didn't earn enough, because they made 7 specific mistakes, starting in their 20s and 30s. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you every single one, so you can stop making them right now. Here's the thing about financial mistakes in your 20s and 30s. They don't feel like mistakes when you're making them. They feel like logical decisions. I'll start my 401k next year when I make more money. I'll pay off this car loan first, then invest. My rent is too high right now. I'll save when things settle down. Every one of these sounds reasonable. None of them are. According to a 2025 Federal Reserve report, the median retirement savings for Americans aged 35 to 44 is just $45,000. $45,000 for people who've been working for over a decade. That's not a savings problem. That's a decision problem. And the decisions being made right now will either build your future or silently steal it. You probably don't know which category you're in. That's why this matters. And here's what nobody talks about. One of these 7 mistakes isn't about money at all. It's about a conversation most Americans never have. And not having it can cost your family hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes everything. I'll get to that one. But first, let's start with the mistake that steals the most money from the most people. Let me show you what these mistakes actually cost. If you're 25 today and you invest just $200 a month, by age 65 at the S&P 500's historical 10% average return, you'd have over $1 million. Now, if you wait until 35 to start, same $200 a month, you'd end up with around $380,000. That's a $620,000 difference. Not from bad investments, not from bad luck, from a 10-year delay caused by mistake number 1. And it compounds from there. Each mistake on this list adds to that gap. By the time most people realize what happened, they're 55 and the math has made up its mind. Let's start the list.
Mistake 1, not investing in your 20s because you'll start later. This is the most expensive mistake on this list. Every year you delay investing is a year of compound growth you can never get back. We just saw the math. A 10-year delay costs over $600,000. And it's not about the amount. If you started putting $50 a month into a Roth IRA at Fidelity at age 22, that $50 compounds for 43 years. By 65, it could be worth over $200,000 from $50 a month. Go to Fidelity.com right now. Open a Roth IRA. The account is free, no minimum. Buy VU or VTI. Set up a $50 monthly auto invest. Done. The second mistake is just as invisible and far more common. Mistake 2, ignoring your 401k employer match. This one is straight up leaving free money on the table. If your employer matches your 401k contributions and you're not putting in enough to get the full match, you are refusing part of your compensation. Here's the real number. If you earn $50,000 a year and your company matches up to 3% of your salary, that's $1,500 a year in free money. Over 30 years with compound growth, that uncaptured match could be worth over $270,000. $270,000. Free. Log into your HR portal this week. Find your 401k match percentage. Contribute at least that amount. In 2026, you can contribute up to $23,500 per year. You don't need to max it out. Just get the match. The third mistake is one most people don't even know they're making. Mistake 3, carrying high interest debt into your 30s. Credit card debt at 20% to 28% APR is a financial emergency. It's not a lifestyle inconvenience. While your investments grow at an average of 10% per year, your credit card debt grows at 24% per year. You cannot out-invest 24% interest. A $5,000 balance at 24% with minimum payments costs you over $5,800 in interest and takes over 20 years to pay off. You'll pay for that couch twice. Use the avalanche method. List all your debts by interest rate. Pay minimums on everything. Throw every extra dollar at the highest rate debt first. Then move down the list. Once high interest debt is cleared, the fourth mistake becomes the priority. Mistake 4, having no emergency fund. This is the mistake that makes all the other mistakes worse. Without an emergency fund, any surprise expense, a car repair, a medical bill, a job loss, forces you into debt. That debt compounds and the cycle begins. According to the Federal Reserve, 40% of Americans can't cover a $400 emergency. The fix is simple but requires discipline. Your target 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in a high-yield savings account. In 2026, the best HYSAs at Marcus by Goldman Sachs and SoFi are paying around 4 to 5% APY. For most people, that's $9,000 to $18,000. Start with $1,000 as your first milestone, then build to 3 months, then 6. Your emergency fund is the foundation everything else sits on. The fifth mistake is where things get darker. Mistake 5, no life insurance in your 30s. This is the mistake nobody warns you about because it feels morbid. But if you have a spouse, kids, or anyone depending on your income, and you die without life insurance, you leave them with nothing, or worse, with debt. A healthy 30-year-old can get a 20-year term life insurance policy for around $25 to $30 a month. That policy pays her family $500,000 if you die. Most people spend more than that on streaming subscriptions. Go to policygenius.com this week. Get quotes in under 5 minutes. No medical exam required for most policies. This is the one mistake on this list that can't be fixed after the fact. The sixth mistake is one even smart people make. Mistake 6, lifestyle inflation after every raise. You get a raise, your lifestyle grows to match it. You get another raise, lifestyle grows again. 2 years later, you make twice as much and save the same percentage. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent killer of wealth. The fix is a rule called save half your raises. Every time you get a raise, increase your 401k or Roth IRA contribution by half the raise amount. Example, you get a $2,000 a year raise. Increase your annual retirement contribution by $1,000. You still feel the raise, but half of every future raise builds wealth automatically. The seventh mistake affects almost everyone, and almost no one is prepared for it. Mistake 7, no estate plan before 40. You don't need to be rich to need an estate plan. If you have any assets, any bank accounts, or anyone who depends on you, you need a will. Without one, the state decides who gets your money, not you. If you have children and no guardianship documents, a court decides who raises them. A basic will and beneficiary designations take less than 1 hour and can be done online. Go to trustandwill.com. Basic plans start at $39. Update the beneficiaries on your 401k, Roth IRA, and life insurance. These override your will. Most people don't know that. This is the conversation most Americans never have, and the one that costs families everything when they don't.
Now here's the part most people get completely wrong. Everyone thinks these 7 mistakes are about discipline. Work harder, spend less, save more. But the data tells a different story. A 2024 TIA Institute study found that financial literacy, not income, is the single strongest predictor of financial health. People who scored high on financial literacy were 3 times more likely to have emergency savings, 4 times more likely to be on track for retirement, regardless of income. This means a person making $40,000 a year with strong financial knowledge builds more wealth than a person making $100,000 a year without it. The mistakes on this list aren't discipline failures, they're knowledge gaps, and every single one of them is fixable once you know what's actually happening. That's the only reason these mistakes exist. Not laziness, not bad luck, just missing information. Now you have it. 3 things. This week, non-negotiable. This week, do these 3 things. Number 1. Open a Roth IRA today at fidelity.com if you don't have one. Takes 10 minutes, no minimum. Deposit $50, buy VO. Set up a monthly auto invest, any amount. If you want an even simpler setup that auto rebalances your portfolio for you, M1 Finance is free to open, and I've linked it in the description. The point is to start today, not next month. Number 2, log into your HR portal and check your 401k match percentage. If you're not contributing enough to get the full match, increase it today. 1% more on a $50,000 salary is $500. Your employer matches it. That's a 100% instant return before the market does anything. There is no better investment. Number 3, go to policygenius.com and get a life insurance quote. Takes 5 minutes, no obligation. If you're under 40 and healthy, term life insurance is shockingly cheap. And if you have anyone depending on your income, a spouse, a child, a parent, not having it is the most reckless financial decision on this list. Get the quote, see the number, then decide. Now you know all 7 mistakes and exactly what to do about each one. But here's something most people never think about.
Avoiding these mistakes is only half the equation. The other half is knowing exactly how fast your money can grow once you stop making them. The next video shows you what happens when you invest just $10 a day for 10, 20, and 30 years. The real numbers, not estimates, not hopeful projections. What actually happens. It's going to change how you think about every dollar you spend. That's the next video.